So let's code the customers form, and here when the form loads we want to display all the customers in the grid view, and we have two buttons, one for editing and deleting customer. So the user will select the row of the customer and clicks edit selected, and if that happens then we will open a form in which the user will modify the customer. And when the user selects the row and clicks delete customer, then we will proceed and delete the customer directly. We won't open any other form. So let's double click the form, and we have the form load event already filled in by the Visual Studio, so that will populate the grid view with the customers. So above it, all I need is one variable, and that is for the object of new customer. So it's going to be a private, and I'll call it customers, and it's going to be a new object of customers. So let's go back to the form and click the edit selected button. That creates the event, of course, and here we will perform the opening of the form where we will edit the customer. But we only do that if the user actually selected a row. So first we will verify that. So we'll go to our DGV customers and get the selected rows, and we'll count them. And if the count equals 0, that means the user did not select any row, and we will simply display a message and inform the user to select the row. We don't need the message box though, because when I go down here on the customer's form, we have a label down here where we can display the actual messages. So it's the LBL status.text, and I'll simply say please select a row to edit. And we don't want to proceed any further, so we will return. Now if everything is okay, if the user selected a row to edit, then we'll open the form. So I'll create a new instance of it, and it's going to be a new instance of FRM modify customer. And then in this form we need to pass in the ID of the customer that we want to edit. If you look in our form here, we have the customer ID, so we need to pass that into the form to modify it. So I'll go to my modify form first, so the modify customer form, I'll just double click it, and above here on the form level I will create a variable that's going to be the customer ID. So it's gonna be public, and actually let's make it a property, not a variable, and I'll call it customer ID, and it's gonna be a short. So this is the ID that we will be using in the modify customer form. So back to our customers form, and here we will pass that ID in the modify customer form. So we'll use FRM modify customer dot, and we have access now to the customer ID, and assign it the value from the first cell of the selected row, because that's where the ID is. And the ID is a short, so we'll need to convert that to short. So I'll use C short, and we'll go to the DGV customers dot, and we want to get the selected row, and we want the first one, or the only one that's selected, so that's the index of 0, and we want the first cell, so that's again cell number 0, and we'll grab the value from it, and that's our ID converted to short and passed into this modify customer form. And after we modify the customer, we can return back to the customer's form and display the modified customer. So we'll do an if statement and check if the form had the show dialog result to equal OK. That means that the user was updating the customer. So if the dialog box or dialog result, is OK, then we can now show the updated data grid view. So we'll go to our customers table adapter and do the fill, and that will perform, of course, the SQL statement that selects everything from the customers. And we want to go to our repair services dataset and the table we want is the customers. So again, we get the new object for the customer modify form and pass in the ID of the customer that we are modifying. When the user is done, the user will click save, and then we will return back to this form of all the customers, and we will repopulate the grid view with the updated list. So next, let's code the delete customer functionality.